In the 1920s, the homage bestowed upon him earned him the names the Great Lover and the Love God, Rudolph Valentino, who was considered the premier actor of his day.
He was so absolutely hounded by publicity. Crowds would gather. I've heard tales of women picking up cigar butts in the streets and cherishing them. It was just insanity.
However, what most people are not aware of is that Valentino and his wife Natacha were in communication with demonic spirits and relied on them for direction in his films. This was a known fact in Hollywood. The actress Colleen Moore confessed,
"Every night, Natacha would hold a seance, calling forth help from the spirit world in her creative undertaking. Then, pencil and paper in hand, she would go into a trance and start writing. After her outpourings were typed up, they were brought to the set the next day and given to the director."
Almost overnight, unbridled sexual promiscuity, once considered sinful, was now redefined as exciting, popular, and trendy. When millions of Valentino's fans watched his movies and surrendered to the lustful passions they incited, they were responding to stories and messages that came from demons. The Valentinos were initiated into what is called automatic writing in the occult, when the pen in a person's hand will write out information from a spirit, yet the person is in an altered state of consciousness, rendering them incapable of fully knowing the communication until it is completed. The Valentinos wrote,
"The more we investigated this remarkable gift of automatic writing, the more convinced we became of the great truth which lay behind it. The truth of evolution and the truth of communication with the so-called dead."
God forbids contact with the dead and condemns those who engage in such practices.
Be very careful not to imitate the detestable customs. For example, do not let your people practice fortune-telling or sorcery, or allow them to interpret omen or engage in witchcraft, or cast spells, or function as mediums or psychics, or call forth the spirits of the dead. Anyone who does these things is an object of horror and disgust to the Lord.
The Valentinos drew many of their starstruck fans into the satanic teachings of Madame Blavatsky and Aleister Crowley. This occult craze exploded at word of Valentino's untimely death. Biographer Irvin Schulman recalls,
"In Hollywood, tarot cards, crystal balls, Ouija boards, and hoodoo powers were complete sellouts, and studio warehouses reported thefts of cauldrons and other bits of hardware associated with magic."
Valentino's movies and screen image brought liberation from the dominating attitudes of the day regarding modesty and sexual chastity and set in motion a societal sexual movement never before experienced in the country. In the scripture, Satan is called the pornographic one who revels in perverting the proper purpose of sex. The world has seen an incredible sexual revolution that took root in the 1960s, but Satan began to break down the biblical boundaries of sex as early as the 1920s by using Valentino and his wife Natacha, who were devout occultists that depended on the creativity of demons for the movie scripts that Valentino would act out before the nation and the world.